All right, Red Sox playoff baseball is in full swing, but don't think I've forgotten about basketball. Far from it. In fact, I am extremely excited about the Celtics season, which it's hard to believe, but it starts just next week against the 76ers. And, I mean, there's not much that I can really say about the Celtics that hasn't already been said. I think they're going to be a very good team, probably tops in the Eastern Conference, although the 76ers and the Toronto Raptors may have something to say about that. But it's going to be a very fun basketball season to watch, and I mean, so was last year's, but I feel like this year I'm finally going to get, basically the team I thought I was going to get last year, because as we all know, 5 minutes into the season against Cleveland, Gordon Hayward went down with a season-ending injury. And I remember, watching that game at the time, and I saw Gordon Hayward fall down, and I'm like, well, players fall down after a dunk or a layup all the time, and they get back up, but I wasn't completely paying attention to what happened, so then I heard, Gordon Hayward broke his leg, and I'm like, holy crap. And, we all saw the injury, pretty gruesome. But, fast forward almost a year, and he's back. I'm not going to say that he's going to be right back to game form immediately, but, all signs point to, he's good to go. So, here we go, Celtics. I'm finally going to get the Kyrie Irving and Gordon Hayward duo hopefully off to a better start this year. And what makes me more excited, though, than those two guys playing is Tatum and Brown. Jayson Tatum and Jalen Brown are probably my two favorite players right now, believe it or not. And I usually don't get into the young guys on any team. I like the established stars. Kyrie Irving, even Gordon Hayward to a lesser degree, and Al Horford. Those were names that I had heard of. I was excited to see him play with the Celtics, but I'm almost more excited to see Jalen Brown and Jayson Tatum play because we don't necessarily know what's going to happen with them. I mean, yeah, Jayson Tatum had a really good regular season last year alongside Kyrie Irving and, the starting lineup. But then in the playoffs, him and Brown had to kind of be the guys. And they were. And, Jalen Brown, I always liked his dunks. I like his athleticism, his defense. I feel like Jalen Brown's a really good all-around player. I feel like Tatum's more of a pure scorer, like a Paul Pierce. But, again, it's too early to say for either one of them. I can't even say, Whereas with Marcus Smart, I think we kind of know what he is, for better or worse. He's a so-so shooter, but a really plus defender, good hustle, and obviously a key member of the team. But at the same time, you're not going to get excited about Marcus Smart because you know what he brings. You don't necessarily know what Tatum and Brown are going to be for probably another couple of years. But for right now, they're still really good players on a really good team. And getting to see them last year, without them, being bench players or kind of backups to Kyrie Irving and Gordon Hayward, getting to see them in a full season like that was just wow, because now I'm wondering where this team can go. Because you look at the Golden State Warriors and how they assembled their team, and it wasn't until they got Kevin Durant, that they signed the big star players. Before then, they developed their own star players by drafting Steph Curry, Draymond Green, Klay Thompson, and it took a few years for those guys to gel and become the modern Golden State Warriors. Before that, Steph Curry was, still a really good player, but he was on a team that didn't really have anybody. And then we all see what they've become, this juggernaut in the NBA, which gets me to my next point. Can the Celtics beat the Warriors? I don't know. For whatever reason, even when the Celtics weren't this good, they've always given the Warriors a run for their money. And that's why I love the Celtics. No matter who they play, no matter what, the stakes are, they always give it their best shot. And I feel like a lot of teams in the regular season, whether they're good or not, they just kind of fold against the Golden State Warriors because they're like, you know what? We'll stay close for a little bit, but then if Golden State pulls away, we'll just, rest our starters because we're just getting ready for the playoffs. But the Celtics, they go for it against anybody. They play all their players for the whole game. Coach Stevens always has them up and ready to play defense and play team defense. I don't know. I love watching this team. And I've always been a basketball fan, but the past few years have made me even more of a basketball fan. I really look forward to these games. If I'm home for them, I turn on the Celtics network and I watch the whole game, or at least a good part of it. Especially when they're going up against the Warriors or one of the playoff teams. So, like I said, I'm looking forward to them playing the Warriors in the regular season and hopefully in the finals. I'm looking forward to the matchup with LeBron and the Lakers. That should be really interesting. I really wish, and I don't know why they didn't, I really wish that was a Christmas Day game. To me, that would have been a no-brainer, Celtics-Lakers with Kyrie versus LeBron. Now, I understand, them playing the Warriors is also a good matchup, but I think Celtics-Lakers, just for the tradition and for LeBron playing the Celtics again, that would have been a really good Christmas Day game, but they are playing the 76ers. Again, I guess the NBA is really pushing that rivalry, and I think it will be a rivalry. I think, Joel Embiid and company really don't like the Celtics, and vice versa. I think, the young 76ers feel like they're the next up-and-coming team, and they're tired of hearing about the Celtics. And, the Celtics, finally got LeBron out of the Eastern Conference, and now, the young up-and-coming Sixers are the next challenge. So on both sides, there's hatred for each other. I think the Wizards and Celtics don't like each other, but I don't really see that as much of a rivalry because I don't know, other than John Wall and like Bradley Beal, I don't know that the Wizards are going to be that much of a threat, but we'll see. It is interesting now with LeBron out of Cleveland, and that's kind of the other reason I'm excited about this season is that, like, last year ended on such a cliffhanger. You were one game away from the finals. It was like, holy crap, what can this team do? And you had to wait all these months to see. Because you knew, even if the Celtics had made it to the finals last year, I don't think they would have beaten Golden State, but you were right there, and you were one game away. And it would have been nice to beat LeBron on what ended up being his last season in Cleveland. Like, it really would have been nice. And it is kind of a shame in a way, although I'm going to take the victory any way I can get it. For years, the Celtics have always kind of tried to challenge for that Eastern Conference, but as long as LeBron was on a dominant team, they never seemed to have a shot. So, it would have been nice to finally knock LeBron off while he was in the Eastern Conference, but he's gone. So, you got to beat who you can beat. And, they may play the Lakers in the finals, but I highly doubt that. I think it will be Celtics and Warriors in the finals. I think the Raptors, did a good job acquiring Kawhi Leonard. I say good job. It's actually kind of a short-sighted job on their part because I don't think he stays in Toronto. But I think for this season, it makes them a good team. They're kind of in an all-or-nothing mode, though, whereas I feel like the Celtics have a really long window. And hopefully, I don't see any reason why that window is going to close, which is kind of the other reason I'm excited. Not just for this season, but for coming seasons. And I felt that way for a while now. Danny Ainge has done a very good job of setting this team up, getting the fans excited. For a while it seemed like we were excited about something that didn't seem like it was going to happen. Like we were like, yeah, we're just like one move away, from this big team coming together. And then, slowly but surely, he acquired, the draft picks. He got the free agents to come to Boston. He got Kyrie Irving in the trade. And now here we are with a combination of young talent, veteran talent, at least 3 All-Stars that I can think of, and maybe 4 or even more, depending on how, the development goes of the young players. Terry Rozier, I don't think anyone expected him to be as good. And eventually there's going to come a time where they can't sign all these players, and, a few of them are going to have to leave. But, we'll see what happens with that when it happens. The 2018-19 season, though, looks extremely promising. I can't wait for it. I think the Celtics will win 62 games this year and be a 1 seed in the playoffs. I expect them to go to the finals, but I don't think it's going to be easy. I think that they are going to probably play like a 6 or 7 game series against Toronto or even Philadelphia in the playoffs. So it's going to be a nail-biter all the way through. I don't think they beat Golden State in the end. I think Golden State does three-peat. But, eventually Golden State will have to break up the same way LeBron and the Cavs did. So we'll see what happens. But that's my prediction for the Celtics. I'd be interested to know yours. So let me know if you're excited for the Celtics like I am. Go Seas.